welcome back to the light side
of the paranormal.
Today we are doing a McDonald's mukbang and paranormal story time.
Yes!
We are only doing this because we want to eat. Not sponsored at all. We are going to eat and you're going to watch us.
And listen to it.
That's gross. Listen to us tell you some scary stories.
I should also apologize for being so short. I'm so sorry. I'm just a head amongst the french fries.
Join us in this disgusting video in my basement. Eating on camera is less enjoyable.
Yeah.
Than eating off camera.
Took everything in me to not lick the honey off this lid right now.
Me too. I
was just gonna mention that I also have a water because we're trying to keep it light. Trying to watch the waistline.
I'd like to keep in mind that I ordered a Diet Coke. I'm just kidding.
I didn't.
No, I'm just kidding. All the calories. Okay, so I'm gonna go first. My cat is in the McDonald's bag. Oh! The dog is mad at him. Hey. I'm going to tell the story about the story. There's no real story. You came here for nothing.
About the story.
I'm going to talk about one certain house that I lived in that I didn't really realize had a spirit until after I left, which is interesting. I moved into this place, how many years ago? I'm going to say like 11 years ago, this is probably. And it was like at a bad time in my life that I moved into this house for multiple reasons, which I won't get into. But one reason was I was on a certain kind of medication that really messed up my mentality. And so we bought this house, we got a good deal. It was an estate sale because the old woman who lived there had passed away. And we were informed that she had passed away in the master bedroom. And yeah, at the time, it didn't bother me. I was so desperate to get out of the situation that we were in that I was like, that's fine. I'll deal with it. And walking into the house, I never felt anything that I needed to like be scared of. So I was like, all right, it'll be fine. Yeah, I didn't feel anything like that I thought I had to be afraid of. I was like, you know, if it's somewhere I shouldn't be living or if it's something bad, I'll feel it. Which I would have. It wasn't bad. And then because I didn't realize.
I feel like all of my weird food things are just like coming
all being
through
publicized
right now. I like fries in my burgers and my wraps.
This pop is warm.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's super. Why don't you put it in the freezer for a little while?
Ugh, I could get ice, but I'm too lazy. I'm sitting on the ground.
Oh my god.
No. It's fine. It's hard for me to remember like specific things that happened because I was unaware of what was happening while it was happening. So it's just like me looking back on it and seeing what was up. So I never really had any bad feelings about the house. I was depressed and had other stuff going on. I wasn't myself, and I think looking back, it wasn't just the medication. I feel like it had something to do with whatever was there.
Or whoever.
So our bedroom was the bedroom where the woman died, and I never went to bed like scared, like, oh my god, somebody died here. I remember that was never a thing. I do remember a few times thinking somebody was in the room with me and there was nobody there. So being in the kitchen and thinking someone had walked in the kitchen. Someone being like either my husband or my dog. and no one being there when I looked. But one specific time, I remember I was in the shower, and I was facing the shower head, washing my face, and I heard, I had left the bathroom door open, and I heard someone pull the shower curtain aside, and I felt someone come in the shower behind me, and then the curtain kind of moved. I felt it move as I'm washing.
In the shower?
Yeah. And, like, behind me.
Oh my god.
And I thought it was my husband, and I was like, hey, what are you doing in here, kind of thing. And he didn't answer me, and I turned around, and there was nobody there. And the shower curtain was, like, half open. And I panicked, obviously. And I ran out of the shower with, like, still soap in my hair and everything. And I was calling for him, and I could hear him. He was in the basement. Or not in the basement. It was, like, 4 levels. This house was crazy. So I, like, ran down into, like, the den area, and he was gaming. And I was like, I felt someone, I thought it was you. I felt like I was just panicking. I felt somebody come to the shower behind me. And he was like, he's used to me, so he was like, oh my god, like, okay. So I made him come upstairs with me and, like, sit in the bathroom while I, like, finished showering.
I would do the same thing.
But yeah, ever since then, I never, this sounds crazy, I never wash my face in the shower. I never put myself in a position where I have to close my eyes. Like, I'll wash my face in the sink before I shower. I will never do this. I can't. I have to be on my game, kind of thing.
Yeah. Showers are scary for some reason. I don't know if it's because of, like, horror films or something,
probably.
But every time I'm in the shower I get like that too. I'm like, I do not want to close my eyes right now. Like,
yeah. So there was 3 bedrooms upstairs. Our bedroom, the master bedroom, and then we had a spare room, and then kind of like an office room. And near the end of our stay at this house, I was in a bad situation, like I said. We were like, we need to sell this house. Like, it was like, not a money pit, but we weren't making any money at this house, you know what I mean? Like, we needed to downsize, big time. At this time, I was, like, at my, like, worst of the worst, like, mentally, and I had come off of the medication that I was on, which, coming off the medication was even worse than being on it.
You go through, like...
Yeah. And during that time, so not only was I having all these issues with this medication, I was, like, withdrawing to, like, the spare room. For some reason. I would sleep in there. And it had nothing to do with my husband, like, not wanting to sleep with him. I was just, like, moody and crying and stuff, and I would, like, always be in that room.
You just wanted to be alone in that room.
Yeah. And, I mean, not to disclose a whole lot of, like, really triggering things, but there was a time in my life where I would self-harm, and I would do it in that room. For some reason, that room, I don't know what it was. Thinking back, maybe that room was closer to the bathroom. Maybe the older lady who lived there, maybe that was the bedroom.
Oh.
That she had.
Right.
I don't know. That's a lot. I don't know what it was about that room, but we left just in time, and I got off that medication just in time.
Okay.
And I'm sure after this I'll remember other little things that happened in that house, but there was a lot of, like, little things like that. I would have a lot of nightmares. Ooh, I would have a lot of sleep paralysis at that house. Once we left there, we left that house and we went and stayed with family. And things did not get, like, immediately better. Like, I still had a lot of sleep paralysis, and one of my scariest episodes of sleep paralysis was when we left that house.
Oh.
And I think that was around the time when I kind of really figured out what sleep paralysis was. I will just say that it was one of the only times I saw somebody on top of me.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I was asleep
I can't even imagine.
I woke up, I could open my eyes, I couldn't move my body, and there was someone on top of me, like, face, like, you know, like, Haunting of Hill House style.
Yikes.
We only stayed at the family's house for maybe a month or two, and then we got a new place, and I felt so much better. Oh my god.
So what would you say was like the general feeling of that house when you lived there?
Oh, that sounds terrible. I'm gonna say like self-loathing. But that could have a lot to do with my mental state.
Well, goodness knows.
Who know? I don't know anything about that woman who lived there. I do know that in the whole process of buying that house, there was so much fighting with her children. Fighting a lot over this house and who gets what, and I want this much for this house and whatever. And after the whole deal was said and done, so much conflict on when we could even get into the house.
What?
Like not having their stuff out on time, and you can't tell us what to do, and this was our mom's house kind of thing.
No.
And yeah, so it wasn't a great vibe, but that's my story about that house.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really, wow.
And now I'm going to eat a lot while you tell a story.
The tale of the lady in the nightgown.
Ooh.
So,
every ghost lady's wearing a nightgown.
I know. Like,
A white.
as you're passing on, are they just like, hey, you're gonna need this, so they just give you a white nightgown? So, my mom and I, and my brother, I have a twin brother, we all moved into a house when my brother and I were about 10 years old. And from the age of 10 until 17 when I moved out, the three of us all consistently saw the same woman in a white nightgown. She had dark brown hair tied back into a low bun, really beautiful face of makeup. She was probably around 35 or so years old, and obviously the nightgown. And at first it started with when you would go to walk down the hallway, you would see sort of like the tail of her nightgown going into a room, and then you go, is that? And then you'd go into the room, there's nothing there. That would happen a lot. And then I remember very vividly there was this one time where my mom and I had gotten into an argument. I think I was like 13 or 14. And I was upset, and I was in my room, and I was laying on my bed, kind of like, oh, poor me kind of thing. And I looked over, but my eyes were all full of tears, so it was a little bit blurry. But I could have swore that I saw this woman, beautiful woman, standing in the corner of my room, looking at me like she felt so sorry for me. And instead of feeling scared, I actually felt a lot of relief. Felt like I wasn't alone in, you know, this like really bad emotional moment. It was very supportive feeling, and it was actually quite nice. And then sometimes, so this is like another part of that story, I guess, not in that same day. Moving forward, sometimes my mom, she would like to sleep in my bed because it was, I don't know, like more comfortable for her or something. It was significantly colder in there, and that was when she was like going through menopause. So maybe that's why. But so she would sleep in my room and I would sleep in her room, and every single time I slept in her room, the woman in the nightgown was standing in her room always. My brother, he's told me stories about seeing her in the kitchen looking like she's doing dishes, or seeing her just like walking around the house. And my mom told me that she saw her, well, my mom and I saw her in, like, sitting in our van.
Oh yeah, that's right, you told me that.
Yeah, it was really interesting. We were outside, and like, you know how sometimes when you look at a vehicle that has tinted windows, you can't really see inside it quite well? So we were looking, and it honestly, like, just perfect face of makeup, like this same woman just sitting in the driver's seat of the van. She just had this, like, very peaceful look on her face. I never felt like she was evil or scary or bad. It was just kind of like a woman that we shared our space with and that we willingly kind of let cohabitate with us for all those years. So my mom still lives in that house, and I haven't seen her. No, my mom, the woman.
Sorry.
Oh, Jackson.
Don't. Get it.
No. I haven't seen the woman in the nightgown for a few years now, but my mom told me that she still sees her from time to time. My brother has since moved out as well, so he doesn't see her, but apparently she's still there.
So the camera died, and we ate all the food.
Yeah.
Except for now you can watch us eat our dessert. And also, this guy. You're here now.
Hello. Oh. He was like,
He got
oh,
camera
baby.
shy.
Yeah.
He's behind me now. You were having a sleepover.
Yeah. So we were all going to bed and like just chatting and getting ready to go to sleep, laying there. And then we hear the dishes. Oh, I should also mention that the house was like open concept with the kitchen, dining room, and living room. But there was like
That was so good.
there was like one wall separating, kind of like a half wall, I guess. Anyway, so like you can't see the kitchen, but it's all open, if that makes sense.
No.
No, it doesn't. You'd have to see it. Anyway, bear with me. So,
Like the ceiling was all open?
like,
Watch me lick my spoon, please.
so we were all laying there, and then we could hear what sounded like someone doing the dishes, or like dishes just clanging together. And at first it was just a little bit like clink, clink. And then one of the girls was like, "Did you just hear that?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, like whatever." Clink, 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 clink. And then I said, "It's probably nothing." And then when I said it's probably nothing, like it was like seriously like you could have been breaking the dishes. Like it was so loud, like clink, 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 like crazy. And then I ran into the kitchen and everything was in its place. Nothing had even moved, not even a little bit. But we all, like everybody at the sleepover confirmed that something was messing with the dishes in the kitchen. So I'm going to assume that it was the woman in the nightgown. And that is my story.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's loud. Like, your mom didn't wake up or anything?
No, but my mom has narcolepsy.
Really?
Yeah, she's narcoleptic. So like she falls asleep like sitting on the toilet and like stuff like that. So.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I've never actually known of anybody who has that.
Mhm.
Is it like really bad? Like,
Before they diagnosed her and she was not medicated properly, it was really bad. Yeah.
would she just talk to you and fall asleep?
Like, one of the prime examples of her narcolepsy.
Oh
So-
my god, it's
I'm
so
la-
bad to laugh.
I know, I'm laughing, but like she laughs at it too, so it's okay. There was one time where she was like walking down the hallway all normal to like come out into the living room, and she fell asleep and like fell sideways and like knocked all the pictures off the wall on her way down. She was okay.
Oh my god, did she wake up when she hit the floor?
No, no.
Oh my god, did she get hurt a lot?
No, actually, she's like a tough cookie, that one.
Can she drive?
She's not allowed to drive for like more than an hour at a time. But she has to take like pills to like keep her awake.
Yeah.
She was sitting on the toilet and she fell asleep and like fell into this plant that's like beside the toilet. Okay. This isn't a story time about my mom's narcolepsy. This is a paranormal story time. But yeah, so Mom has narcolepsy. No, she didn't hear the dishes.
This is our first time doing this, so this might be a total disaster, but if it turned out looking better than we thought it We'll do it again far down the line. So if you like our content and you like paranormal stuff, make sure to like our video and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time that we post new stuff. And don't forget
to live your life with love and light. We'll see you next time.
See you in the next one. I'm disappointed. That's fine.
Big Don.
Big Dong!
Big Don.
Big Dong let me down!